Hey guys, and welcome back to another one of my videos. So by now I'm sure most of you know and have seen the VRChat hybrids that I do and that I made. A lot of people are asking me how do I make them and what's the process and is it hard to make them. So this video is going to be my 5 tips on how to make a VRChat hybrid avatar. This should work with all of the avatars, or the rules should apply for all of them. So yeah, let's get into it. So my number 1 tip would be use a couple of avatars. Now what I mean by this is whether if your hybrid is just between 2 or 3 avatars, if you can't find a specific part on one of the avatars of the hybrids that you're using, then check out other avatars, because who knows, maybe you'll find one avatar that's completely not supposed to be the part of your hybrid, but it just has some parts on it that's going to fit your hybrid nicely. And trust me, this might sound funny, but I would find sets of ears or something like that on a completely different avatar base, and it would suit my hybrid very nicely. My number 2 tip is play around with a sculpting tool. Now, I already made a video on this covering on how to play around with it, but in a short, sculpting tool is a part of Blender, and it allows you to basically stretch or press in, basically kind of mold your parts of your avatar, and it's very nice to use, and it's actually not that hard at all. Depending on what you want to reshape, you may run into some issues, let's say if you're messing around with the mouth or something. But other than that, it's still a pretty nice tool to use, and yeah, you should definitely check it out if you're wanting to make a hybrid. My 3rd tip would be use Unity tools to help you. Now what I mean by this is mostly the resizing tool here, this one right here, and you can play around with these cubes here, which basically allow you to either stretch or basically stretch your avatar in different kind of directions. And also you can add a game object onto it, and then whatever it is that you're trying to, let's say you have a set of ears and you want to perfectly mirror it on the opposite side, you're going to make a copy of it, drag it on the game object, and then in the first number you want to make sure it says -1, and that is going to perfectly mirror the things that you're trying to mirror. So in most cases this would be used for ears and such. My 4th tip would be use an avatar that's easy to cut. Now what I mean by this is not every avatar is easy to cut and take parts away from. So some avatars, it's harder to take away his tail or ears or etc. So look around and find avatars that are not as complex, to say it like that are more kind of on the toony side. Of course you can challenge yourself and still try and cut it, but to make your life easier, just start playing around with avatars that are not as complex. And again, as my first tip, look around for a couple of avatars, because you never know what you're going to find. And for my 5th and final tip, finish the hybrid fully to know if it's gonna turn out good or not. Now what I mean by this is sometimes I would put an avatar together with all its parts. The avatar would not look good until I complete the textures of it. To get the full reaction and to see if the avatar actually turned out okay, you're gonna want to finish it completely, so textures and everything, and then at the end you'll see if you like the hybrid or not that it turned out at the end. But that would do it for this video. Those are all my 5 tips on how to get you started with hybrids. If you want to see the process of how I make hybrids, then I'll leave a video in the description down below so you can check and see the process of them. And of course, let me know in the comments if you would want me to do another video like this or properly show you how to do one again from scratch. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope that this video helped you. And yeah, I'll see you around.